Hello my creative friend, Olga Sabi here and welcome to new art tutorial. And usually I say fluid art tutorial, but I feel like I have been really moving past and beyond just fluid art techniques with all my experimentation with texture. And oh boy, today is gonna be interesting. Oof. Oh my god, so far I love it. I'm gonna create probably one of the most unusual paintings for me so far, and the subject is also quite unusual. So I am going to create a mermaid tail. This is a very unusual direction for me, but I had dreamt it. I had a dream about it, and I want to do my best today to bring it to life. So I have the concept here. This is the tail. I don't know if you can see past the tape, but I have created a pretty heavy texture for it. So the texture is shaped in the shape of tail, but I also use some stencil to add some additional elements on top, like here and here. And I have also done quite a bit of sanding all over. So now, as the texture is fully cured, it's finally time for the fluid part. And what's up with the tape? So my idea here today is to do fluid painting for the background, for the oceany, underwater theme here, here, and here. And of course, there are going to be separate fluid painting for the mermaid tail. And I want to keep them as separate as possible. So that's why I added this tape, because I wanted to work sort of as a barrier for the fluid acrylics. Let's see if it works at all for this concept. I'm very excited to work on this dream piece. So without further ado, let's get started. Aqua Spirit is a secret message today, and I think I'm gonna work on this part, on the textured mermaid tail part first. And for that, I wanna go for blue, but also some purplish colors. So the first color here is ultramarine violet. Kind of want to give it a bit of symmetrical look, but not like precisely. It's not with fluid acrylics, and I have planned to continue working on the tail a lot more. I want to really enhance the texture further once it's dry, but for now, let's see where we can take it with fluid acrylics. So this color here is a mix of turquoise blue with some silver. This one here is mixed of oriental violet with iridescent red blue. I don't want to have a lot of it, just maybe a few little accents. I want to add some lighter. This is just turquoise blue. Okay, I think I probably have enough paint. So I'm gonna add a bit of titanium white here. This is the phthalo blue. I'm gonna use it for the background, but I feel like I want to have a little bit of it inside of the tail part as well. It's gonna work to create. It's gonna help me create some shades. Will help me give even more dimension to this design. I don't know. This should be interesting. Let's begin the blowout and just go from there. Pretty good. I like it. And of course, all the colors I mixed with my new recipe. This is why I get this beautiful reaction. I do see that some of the paint, not sure if you can see behind the tape, but some of it did not reach the tape right here, so I need to blow a little more. And I think I want to add more dark paint right here. Okay. Oh, shoot, I forgot this part right here. I mean, I don't know what's gonna be like on next stages. So far, really happy. So I got quite a bit of drips after blowing the tail, and I'm gonna pick them up and just drizzle them around. And when I'm gonna be doing the blowout for this next part, I think it will create nice highlights because I have pretty dark colors planned out for the next part. So having some of those lighter purple and turquoise will help me diversify this palette a bit more. Plus, less waste with all these drips, as we can use them up right away. Now, let's work on the ocean that surrounds our beautiful mermaid. So this one here is Phthalo Blue. And I want the ocean part to be dark, mostly dark, so that the design really stands out. Nice and contrasty. So Phthalo Blue on its own dries dark. Maybe a bit highlight here, here. So this one here is Prussian Blue mixed with a little bit of turquoise, but this color is gonna dry almost black. But because I added a bit of turquoise blue, it sort of will brighten it up a little bit. And then also all the highlights that we have added from drips, putting them back on the canvas. Also want to sort of drizzle a little bit of the turquoise mixed with silver. I think it will look nice in ocean waters. Okay, let's do the next part. Okay, I have picked up pretty much all of the drips and reapplied them to sides. I will definitely need to touch up sides more once dry, but I know that there's still so much work for me to do once the painting is dry, because I'm gonna continue working on the tail. And then also once I'm gonna remove the tape right now, I don't wanna let the paint dry because I think it will cause all kinds of problems. So I'm gonna remove it now. And of course the paint will level out to a degree, so there will be even more touch-up. But I'm very excited to see, I'm very curious to see also how it's gonna look just now. It's really not bad. I see that I will need to make this line sharper on the outline, but other than that, it's pretty pretty good. Like here and there I got poor coverage. I'm amazed. So far so good. Okay, let's remove the long one. Oof. Okay, I think I need to use both hands for this one. And there is a lot more level difference at the top part, so it will be requiring more touch-up for sure. My gosh, it takes so much focus, this process. Got a little drizzle here, but it's not bad. And right here, need to help the paint level out, but oh my god, so far I love it. Probably need to add more highlight here. Need to see how it dries first. This line, I can see it's kind of shifting. It will need more love. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. Well, for you, it's step number 1. For me, it's step 235 on this painting, but it's complete, so let's move on to the next one. See you in a second. The fluid paint is dry, and now I'm up for the whole new stage. You will not believe how it's going to look at the end. So first of all, I decided to add golden sort of underlay to the scales. I think it will look super nice in this color palette. By the way, these scales I have created over the texture using just a regular stencil and modeling paste. So as you can see, I apply regular thick right out of the tube golden paint on top of my scales. And next, right away, without letting that golden paint dry, I grab wet paper towel and I rub on the surface with it only to remove the golden paint from the top of the surface, so from the top of the scales. This way, the gold stays in the pits of my texture, which gives it a nice golden shine, plus helps to really outline this really cool scales design. And I keep rubbing in the areas where I want to remove the excess gold. I still want to keep some of the design, the fluid design that I have created initially, so I don't want to fully cover it. I keep gently rubbing it off. And you know what? I really love how this semi-transparent shimmery gold worked on my scales. So I decided to add a very thin and transparent layer of golden paint on top of the rest of the scale. And for that, I'm gonna use a spray paint. So this is the same exact golden color that I used before, but it's in the form of spray. And you can see that my fluid design still shines from underneath. That's perfect because I still want to keep that fluid part, just give it this pretty golden tint. And because it's a water-based spray, it is very easy to remove it from the areas where I don't want to have any gold. So right away, I simply use wet paper towel to rub it off. And I clean it up around. You can see it's very easy and it comes off super nicely. Well, it's looking pretty good, but I am not ready to stop. I want to give even more definition to my scales. I'm using some blue and turquoise paint for it at this time. Again, I'm rubbing it in, and at this time I'm mostly leaving it on the surface of the scales. It's a very simple yet effective technique when working on texture. I'm gonna let that paint dry for now, and while it dries on my scales, it is time to correct the outline of this magical tail. When I did the blowout, the taping technique worked quite well for the first try, but when I removed it, it did level out and shift a little bit. And now I want to change that. I want the design of my fluid paint to fully match the design of the texture. So I go over with the same exact colors that I used for the pour itself. By the way, here is a very hot tip for you. Always save up colors or combination of colors that you used for a pour itself for your touch-ups. Especially if you mixed custom colors. Because for example, here I mixed Prussian blue with turquoise, and I'm using the same exact color for the touch-up, so it looks as seamless and unnoticeable as possible, because I don't want my touch-ups to be obvious, right? I want them to be as blended in the fluid background as possible. So for that, it is very important to use the same exact colors. Moving on to the next step of working on my magical mermaid tail. I told you there are going to be a lot of layers. Okay, so for this one, I decided to add some of the iridescent red-blue accents on the scales to add some highlights and dimension to my texture and just make it look more interesting. And next, I'm adding the same exact color to the texture that I have on the bottom of the tail. And moving on to the very final step. So for this final step, I want to add a sharper golden outline to the tail. And I love this vibrant and fairy effect that gold has helped me to achieve in this piece. So I decided to use the same exact color of gold to create a bit more definition and really separate this mermaid tail from the background. So I add paint directly on this textured outline and then I use a flat brush to sort of blend it in with a more transparent layer. Once this blending is done, I remove the masking tape, and as you can see, it is a very thin tape that I use to prevent my gold from getting on the background part. Of course, I'm going to repeat this step on all sides. Final touches really help to bring this super unusual piece together, and oh boy, I just can't wait to show you the final result. I know it looks pretty fast in the video, but trust me, it took me a lot in real time working in layers and layers and adding in all these details until I'm fully happy with how it looks. But I really enjoy this process of bringing my dream to life. Removing the final tape, and after a few layers of varnish, this magical piece is finally finished. It has been quite a journey and I just can't be happier with how it turned out after all these layers and touch-ups and corrections and more layers and more layers. And I especially love the scales. This area right here, oh my god, it's so beautiful, especially if you look against the light. So much iridescent shimmer and the texture is really cool and beautiful and definitely my favorite part of this piece. And I really like how the bottom part of the tail turned out as well. You see, the fluid part, the blowout, where I did the blowout, it's still very visible under the transparent layer of the gold paint that I applied with spray, and I really like this effect. You know, the layers and layers of beauty. It creates lots of depth, right? And there are many other beautiful mystical details. Well, I have to say I truly enjoy working with texture, and by the way, next week, oh my god, I have a new very interesting one coming up, also with texture, but with very different concept. I can't wait to share it with you. I hope you enjoy the process of creation of this mermaid tail. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and I will chat with you in the comments below this video. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!